Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, June the 6th, with the moon in analytical, hardworking Virgo. It's a great moon to start the work week. The moon sets the public tone. Virgo is work-oriented, detailed-oriented, wants to get the job done. Now, on Tuesday, because on Monday, there are no other planetary events going on, and the moon is not making any aspects to other planets. But on Tuesday, the moon in Virgo will be in harmony with innovative, surprising Uranus from about 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That moon in Virgo can get too into a routine, get too kind of boring in a way. But when it's favorable with Uranus, you're able to be open to new opportunities, get yourself out of a box, reinvent yourself. So it could be a really good part of the day to be open to new ideas. Uranus also represents the future, so you could be even making plans and working on projects looking at the future. On Wednesday, June the 8th, the moon in Virgo will go void of course from 5:09 a.m. to 8:24 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and then it goes into Libra. As I mention usually every week, when the moon is void of course, the energy is flat, it's unproductive, just stay the course. It's not a time to introduce any important new projects. But come 8:24 a.m. Pacific time, as the moon goes into Libra, Virgo was more work-oriented. Libra is more sociable, more creative, more harmonious. And the moon will be interacting with expansive, optimistic Jupiter between 5 and 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. This would be a great evening to go out with friends, go out to dinner, attend any kind of, go to a film, any kind of entertainment venue, because that moon are your emotions. Jupiter, you would be feeling really happy and optimistic. Good for travel, good for making travel plans. On Thursday, as the moon continues in sociable, harmonious Libra, it's going to be in opposition or confrontation to competitive Mars between 5 and 7 a.m. Pacific time. A lot can get accomplished, but your egos might get in the way, and it may create this kind of irritability. The moon, however, in Libra will be in the best flow of energy to the sun in Gemini for most of the day. And this makes for a more comfortable day when things fall into place more easily. You just got to get past that more impatient, competitive period with the moon Mars earlier in the day. On Friday, the moon continues in Libra, fair-minded Libra, but it's also going to go void of course from 10:37 a.m. to 1:42 p.m., at which point it goes into passionate, intense Scorpio. Interesting between Libra and Scorpio, because the moon sets the public tone. The Libra is very sociable, whereas Scorpio is more introspective, seeking more privacy, can have conversations, but with Libra, it's all that banter and playfulness, wittiness. In Scorpio, if you're that there's more of this need to have more profound, in-depth conversations. And with Scorpio, good for studying and researching. But also on Friday, discerning Mercury, the messenger god. Mercury is about gathering information, Mercury will be in the best flow of energy twice a year usually to Pluto. Now, Pluto is the planet associated with Scorpio, and the moon is now in Scorpio that 1:42 p.m. Pacific time for a couple of days. So all that Scorpio rules the underworld. That could be studying, researching, but I look to Scorpio as transformational energy. So it's great for counseling, great for having a psychology session, an astrology session. That Mercury is what you're interested in, and very favorable to Pluto, that you really want to delve deep into the mysteries of life, psychology, astrology, even the occult. But it's certainly really favorable for studying and researching. On Saturday, as the moon continues in intense, passionate Scorpio, the moon will be in opposition, which is interacting with others, to the social planet Venus in the early evening, 6 to 8 p.m., and it's a Pacific time. It's a Saturday evening, and this is really favorable for celebrating romance, entertainment, all those Venetian qualities. But Venus is a 1-year cycle through all the signs, and Venus is aligning with liberating, exciting, unpredictable Uranus throughout Saturday, making for a lot of excitement and new possibilities for a Saturday night. Venus is that power of attraction, and a lot of people are going to be more prone, if you're open to it, to make a sudden attraction. This could be a sudden, unexpected infatuation with somebody. But on a more general level, this is Venus's pleasure seeking and sociable, and Uranus is shaking things up in exciting ways. It just makes for a really great Saturday for a party, for going out, for entertaining, for falling in love, or bringing the magic back into an existing relationship. Sunday, June the 12th, the moon continues in intense Scorpio, but it's going to be in harmony with empathetic Neptune around 8:10 a.m. Pacific time. And then by noon to early afternoon, it's in harmony with Pluto. So there's all this empathy, intuitiveness, wanting to help others, perhaps even, and especially on a Sunday, doing a lot of soul searching. The moon will leave Scorpio. It's not going to go void of course for just a very brief time. And it's going to leave that more introverted Scorpio. And by 3:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon goes into expansive, outgoing, adventurous Sagittarius. So you're going to see a big mood shift. Even on Saturday, with all that romantic energy, with this moon in Scorpio, there's all this intensity and passion. But come Sunday, after the moon goes into Sagittarius, there's more of this playfulness. And this need to be going on an adventure, traveling, playing sports, all this more lighthearted playfulness. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.